Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash the like button the way that female high school teachers smash their students, so this video reaches a wider audience. And now on with the memes. Number 1, should you take the suggestion to marry a girl who waits for you to come to bed? I don't know about that, but what I do know is that no woman would marry a dweeb like that. And any man who marries any woman in this day and age is an idiot. This woman looks like a cougar waiting for her cub, so odds are they aren't even married. The saddest part about this post is all the OF girls like this one posting their pictures trying to drive traffic to their platforms. Up next here, the salaries required to make different generations consider themselves financially successful. The boomers say getting paid $100,000, but they don't need as much income considering most of them own their own homes. Even the millennials say the same thing. But Gen Z is totally delusional, saying they need $587,000 a year to be financially set. Regardless, this just shows me that 95% plus of people aren't financially successful based on their own metrics, and I doubt they'll ever be. Number 3, here we have another case of migrant love. This guy assaulted a 12-year-old girl while she was sleeping on an airplane, and his excuse in court is that he thought that she was his wife. It all makes sense because in that culture, 12 is a perfectly fine age to get married. You might think this is a fake story, but it's real. And he said he mistook her for his wife because he was in a deep sleep. So I guess now Jeets are using the excuse of sleepwalking when they grape someone. Moving on, here's the difference between when you're cold and when she's cold. Looks like life isn't fair now, is it? The worst is that when you're a fat man and you come out of the pool like George Costanza, and you have shrinkage. I also think the picture on the top is the reason people say it's nippy out when it's the middle of the winter and freezing. That woman needs to keep her cannons covered up properly in case children are around. Number 5, according to a study, male students show more tolerance towards their political enemies than females show to their allies. Of course, because women are on the left and the left is far less tolerant of mental differences, while at the same time claiming to be more tolerant of the external ones. Here's a free speech map and you can see that women are far less tolerant of differences than men are. Remember what Al Bundy said, that no one hates women more than other women. Up next, if she asked you to get her pregnant, what would you say? Sure, I'd give it the old college try because she couldn't get pregnant. No eggs, empty egg carton. The only way it might happen is if she supplies a time machine so I can go back for eggs before their expiration dates. Scientists can now take male skin cells or female skin cells and turn them into eggs. Soon barren cat ladies will be having kids at the age of 50 or 60, especially when the artificial womb comes out. Mark my words. Number 7, one of these things must go forever. None of these things matter to me though. I haven't drank alcohol or had sex in over 10 years, and I don't care about football. The only thing I might eat once or twice a year is a steak. So everything can go but the occasional steak. As for football, who watches that? It's so boring. Anyone smart stopped watching it in 2016 when they started kneeling during the national anthem at football games. Moving on, why are men doing this to themselves? This guy says nothing major happened to him except that he cleaned his beard and unlocked the beautiful girl hiding underneath. He even got a nose ring to show off his newfound femininity, as well as a choker to hide the Adam's apple, which is so classic. Unsuccessfully, of course, because I can still see it. Maybe the reason for this is because we're putting chemicals in the water that are turning all the drag queens gay. Number 9, apparently living near the ocean has been scientifically proven to make your life better. Yeah, sure, maybe someone needs to tell that to Haitians. But for whatever reason, large bodies of water are open space, and people feel better and less claustrophobic when they're in front of a large pool of water. I head down to Lake Ontario once in a while and just stare out into infinity. I know that America's on the other side, but you can't see it with the naked eye during the day. Up next, which option do you prefer? I'd have to choose A, which is fully shaved and bald like a rotisserie chicken with no stubble. Then again, I prefer not to see grannies like this down there. To be honest, I'd be fine with A, B, C, or D. All natural, what are we back in the 1970s or something? If I wanted to be a bushwhacker, I'd move to the land down under, Australia. Hell, I'd take the natural one over the others if she was the only one without tattoos. Number 11, Thomas Jefferson said that if serving in an elected office ever became a career, then corruption would surely follow. True. But even with term limits, many politicians are corrupt. I suspect that if the Founding Fathers were alive today, they would replace the government with an AI program to uphold the Constitution, because that would be the only thing that would be uncorruptible if everyone could see its code. Moving on, now that Zoran Mandani is the mayor of New York, he's probably going to trick the voters into thinking he's going to give them free stuff like Lucy, only to then take it away. Most of the smart, wealthy people are already planning their escape to Florida or Texas. The demographics of New York have changed massively over the last 25 years since 9/11. It's mostly immigrants from third world countries that want to turn NYC into a third world place too. There's no place like home, I suppose. Number 13, meanwhile, in cucked Canada, our post office has unveiled new stamps honoring Canada's Sikh war veterans. The only thing is they never fought as Canadians in WW2. Even though they fought for Canada, they weren't given citizenship. That's the real insult. Some might have fought in Afghanistan recently, but this just shows me that the government is trying to rebrand Canadian culture. The government was racist before and is trying to make up for it now. Up next, which female body type is the best? For me, it's 6 or 12, although their hips could be a touch wider. And I'm going to guess that most guys would agree with me that if these women were thin with big chesticles, that's the best possible thing. I would reject 1 through 9 because their chests are too small. 9, 10, and 11, their hips are too wide. The fatso and the muscle mommy don't even appeal to me. 14 looks like fun even though the hips are way too wide in that case. Number 15, this woman gifted every dollar of child support she received to her kid, that she got over 11 years with a grand total of 48 grand. Is her mother one of the good ones? I don't think so because this is the father's money, yet the mother is taking credit for it. Are we supposed to be proud of her for not spending it on her hair and makeup instead of her daughter? I'm also curious to know if any of the money was left after just 48 hours. Moving on, this adventurous Gen Z traveler from Belarus was kidnapped and sold for her organs in Myanmar. Young travelers are going to more international destinations than ever, and many of them aren't safe. When you travel to a third world country, always travel in a group, so that the locals target the more vulnerable members of the group first. Whenever I travel, other people not paying attention are the ones being robbed. Number 17, actor Kevin Sorbo says he wasn't blacklisted from Hollywood for his conservative views, but instead he left Pedowood because of all the PDF files. I guess he's not going to sugarcoat things. He probably didn't want Tom Hanks anywhere near his family. Not to mention he probably didn't want to have his son Brendan chop off his pecker, take estrogen, and then switch his gender. Also, I don't know if I believe Kevin because he said contradictory things like this in the past. Up next, and speaking of trans kids, this person asked why they aren't grooming someone's son right now. Because they're doing their part and have turned 3 sexless incel cis boys into beautiful budding girls. I only see 2 people in the photo. Where's the third? I'm asking for a friend, of course. Maybe this person is also from Hollywood. There has to be a sick and twisted reason why Hollywood actors are turning their kids trans. It has to be more than just fitting into the culture and getting jobs from it. Number 19, Virginia just elected this whammon as their governor. This picture was taken during COVID when members of the US government were given their own personal air filtration devices to be safe. Meanwhile, they told you to wear a basic face diaper and you'd be safe. If that was true, then why did they go to such extreme measures for themselves? This is peak boomer fear of death. And they're willing to shut down the world and wear space masks so they don't risk their own deaths. Moving on, a 72-year-old Chinese woman who swam 8 hours to escape communism is disgusted by her children, who voted for Mandani, the communist mayor of New York. Of course they did. They're young and idealistic and didn't live through the horrors of communism and think that their mother is probably crazy for rejecting it. My great-grandfather was ended by the communists and buried somewhere in an unmarked grave. I feel bad for this woman. Her kids are probably being put in schools that are now funded by the same people as Mao. Number 21, it's getting desperate out there. A mother and father fought off a woman trying to kidnap their 4-year-old son. She was probably an envious bear and cat lady upset that she couldn't have a kid of her own, so she just tried to steal somebody else's. Then again, considering that this article is written in California, there's a 99% chance that the woman in question is just a male transvestite. Whatever happened to our high-trust society? Up next, the person posting this said that they weren't motivated by profit when they built this. Wrong. The people that designed it didn't care about profits, but the people who paid to have it built did. Castles were built for security from siege so they could protect their wealth and their lives. And they usually had a bunch of knights guarding their castle in case the peasants decided to revolt. Also, odds are this was built by slave labor or pretty close to it. Number 23, it's getting desperate out there. If you buy a Femboy cap, it comes with a free Femboy. Obviously, this is sarcasm, but with less than 3% of men willing to date a Femboy, this is probably close to truth. Even the gay males don't want them because they aren't attracted by femininity. Maybe the reason nobody wants femboys is because 99% of the time, they don't look anywhere near as good or passable as this. Moving on, this woman wants to remind all the fragile men out there calling women fatherless or saying they have daddy issues that they have a subconscious belief that many men fail as fathers. This is just another example of damaged women being unable to take criticism. This is just another example of a damaged woman being unable to take criticism. And she wants to redirect men's mockery against her towards the so-called men that failed her in her life. She can't handle criticism and is trying to deflect it. I bet she'll also blame her tattoos, piercings, and high notch count on her father as well. Number 25 on the last one looks like the wall has been hit by Femke Jensen. My guess is that she hasn't been taking her adrenochrome, or the shortage is real. Seeing celebrities with disastrous plastic surgery makes me think that their procedures are like monkey paw wishes, that there are unintended consequences. Just in time too. The Funko Pop company is going broke, and now people turning themselves into real Funko Pops will replace them. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm, and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoyed this series and want me to keep making it, then donate it to PayPal and Subscribestar links. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.